out away from you and turning your toes in towards you. And then as you're doing that, begin to lengthen the right side of the body a little bit more. So get a little bit more juice happening on the right side, and then switch over to the left side. So reaching a bit more through the left heel and the left fingertips, and then through the right heel and right fingertips, and then alternating. Do this slow. When you go a little bit slower, you'll find yourself with just a little bit more range of motion, and it's a very clean stretch because you have the back, you have the floor keeping you in alignment. So just eking out left and right sides, a couple more times each side here. Develop a little bit of recognition to your breath as you do so. Well done. And then pause back into the center and bring your right knee into your chest. So grab your right leg, but I want you to hold underneath the knee. So hold about the middle of your right thigh along the hamstrings here. Fingers interlaced as well. And then pull the knee in a bit towards your right shoulder and press your left leg down into the mat. So the left heel will stay flexed. Now slowly start to straighten your right leg. And it might not straighten completely because you've got some pressure as you feel the right thigh press against your hands. And then bend the knee again, pulling it in a little bit more towards your right shoulder. And again, start to straighten and lengthen your right leg. Notice the back presses flat into the mat. Bend the knee once again. So we're warming up our hamstrings here. And then again, take the leg and extend and reach, and then bend the knee back in. Good. Now place your left foot on the floor. All right, we'll thread the needle in pigeon, cross your right ankle over your left thigh, and now reach for your left leg. Hold underneath the knee. Lie back down and pull your left leg towards your left shoulder, but press your right hip bone down into the ground. Take a few breaths here as you settle into these morning stretches. It's good to get into hips and hamstrings, right? A little bit of opening into that right side. Well done. So continue holding your left leg and place your right leg back down on the floor. So you've got your left leg holding it underneath the knee, right around the mid-thigh there. Pull the left knee in towards your left shoulder. Get a little pinch happening into the left hip. And then here we go, left side, begin to extend your left leg up towards the ceiling, straightening it out, feel the thigh, press into your hands, and then bend the knee. Once again, here we go, take the leg, slowly start to extend it out long, really slide through that heel, and then bring it back in, nice. And one more time, extend your left leg up towards the ceiling, kick the heel out, and then bend the knee and pull it back in. Very, very nice. Place your right foot on the floor and cross your left ankle over your right thigh, and then reach through and thread the needle on this side. So now you're grabbing your right leg as you lie back down onto your back. Flex your left foot. Try and square off into your shoulders a bit, getting into your left hip a little bit more. Take a few breaths here as you start to get into some of the tighter and some of the stronger parts of the body here. Make sure your tailbone stays pressed down so you don't want to start to curl your tail up into the air. Good. Now take your left leg and release your left leg to the floor. This time we're going to hold the right knee above the knee, so around like at the top of the shin there. So a little bit more of a stronger grip, pulling the knee in. And then you can feel a decidedly stronger pinch into your right hip. Well done. And then switch sides, bring the right leg down and bring your left knee in. Interlace the fingers around the left shin, the top of the knee area, and pull the left knee down towards the left shoulder. Good, getting a little pinch happening there. And now we'll start to work into a little diaphragmatic core work here. So pick up your head and bring your nose towards your left knee. You can still hold on to the leg. And then I want you to release the leg, lie down, and stretch your arms over your head like we did just at the beginning of class. And then on the next exhale, lift up and grab your right knee. So pick up your head, bring your nose towards your right knee, and then release that down. Alternating your legs. Exhale, lift up and squeeze, nose towards left knee. Inhale, breathing, go for the lengthening. And then alternating. Right leg lifts, pull the knee in, and lower everything back down. And now continue a few more on your own, starting to work and wake up the belly a little tiny bit here. Nice and long through your extension and then deep into the compression of your hips. Let's take one more on each side. Good, belly stays tight. Very nice. And then last one here. And then release and lie down. Now bend your knees, place your feet on the floor, and bring your arms by your sides. Have your palms face down. So taking some dynamic bridges, which is very similar to cats and cows. This feels so nice on the spine. Let's inhale, lift the hips up and the arms all the way up over your head until the backs of your hands touch the floor. And then exhale, breathing, and lower back down. Good. Inhale, breathing, push down, and lift the hips up. Take the arms way up over your head. Press the backs of your hands on the floor, and then slowly lower your hips and your arms, feeling the spine. And again, taking a few more of these on your own as we get in a little bit into the spine. You can certainly feel the upper spine here. This is a nice one to do. Again, good morning, little stretches to happen. First our hips, our hamstrings, and now getting into the core and into the spine. Take a little bit of breath. Make sure you're not tilting your head back. You're looking directly up towards the ceiling. Take your last one here. Really good. And then lower everything back down. Bring your both knees into your chest just lightly. Hold your knees with your hand. Left hand on left knee, right hand on right knee. And then it's like little egg beaters. So you're just going to circle the knees out and then back together and then in and around, picking a direction. As we do, we'll switch the directions in just a moment. But just start to get a little bit into the hips, a little more rotation really into the hips. Your shoulders might lift up off the floor. And now switch directions. Just take it around the other way. Circling the knees out and in and down and back. Well done. A few more of these. Good. And then bring your both knees into your chest. Give yourself a little hug. So wrap your arms around your shins, right? And squeeze in. Give yourself a nice tight little compression here. A little heat happening in the belly. And then gently release. Well done. Come on to our hands and our knees. So lift yourself up. And we'll take ourselves around to our hands and our knees. So bringing your hands under your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. So classic all four stance. Push down through the arms and pull up through your belly. Don't let your spine sag. Take your left leg, place it on the floor behind you. So extend the leg with the toes on the floor. So it's a supported side plank. Drop your left heel down towards the side and pick up your left arm. So you're balancing, on the right side of your body. Take your left hand, place it behind your head, and lean your head into your hand. Point your left elbow that much more up towards the ceiling, opening up the shoulder a little bit. As you do that, take your hips and push them forward. So it's like the elbow goes back and the hips go forward to open up into the spine, the chest, a little bit of a twisting action as well. Now hold all of that and re-reach your left fingertips right up towards the ceiling. So stretch your left arm up and now see if you can pick up your left leg. So it looks like a little bit of a half moon pose here. Balancing on your right knee and your right arm. Flex through your left foot. See if you can lift the left leg up a little higher. Squeeze your left glute a bit. And then release the left foot down to the floor. Place your hand down. Place your knee down. And shake out the tail to just a little tiny bit. All right. Other side, right leg extended back. Good. Drop the inner right heel towards the floor and peel open, lifting your right arm up into the air, opening up, broadening across your chest. Nice. Take the right hand, place it behind your head. Lean your head into your hand and point the elbow a little bit more up towards the ceiling. Push your hips towards the other direction. So your hips and your right arm are kind of going forward and back in opposite directions, getting a little bit more space in the shoulder. Good. And then take the right fingertips, reach them up into the air again. Lean a bit into your left arm and lift your right leg. Good. Belly pulls in for stability. Flex your right foot, kick your heel out away from you and squeeze into the glute a little bit. Maybe get a little bit more lift, a little bit more activity into the leg. One more breath here, hold on. And then release the right foot down. Place the right hand down and place the right knee down. Beautiful. Let's lie down into a Sphinx pose. Come down onto the ground with your forearms like railroad tracks out in front of you. Spread your fingers fairly wide and actually connect, press a bit with your forearms, wrists, and hands into the ground and see if you can get a little bit more of a lift into your chest. So you're coming into really one of the most therapeutic yoga poses and a really very good pose to heal the back a bit or to keep the back healthy. As you're not putting any weight into your back to create this extension, your arms are doing that. Good. So from our Sphinx pose, bend your left leg, okay, and flex your left foot. Lean a little bit to the right and see if you can grab your left ankle with your left hand. So you're going for a quad stretch. And then roll your left hip back down to the floor and pull your left heel towards your left glute. Make sure you press your pubic bone down into the ground at the same time. So you don't want to arch your back when you go for this quad and hip flexor stretch. And now let the left foot kick away from your hip, pulling your left arm back and getting a little bit more lift now into the left side of your chest. Beautiful. And then slowly release. Place the left arm down, place the left leg down, and take a breath. So other side, bend your right leg. Good. Bring your right heel towards your right glute. Lean a tad over to the left and reach back for your right ankle. Good. Roll your right hip back down onto the ground and pull your right heel towards the glute. It does not have to touch. Press your hips down, the front part of your pelvis. Push it down into the floor. Push your left arm down, keeping your chest lifted. There's a lot going on. And pull the heel in a little bit closer. Find a little length. Very powerful muscles in the quads. Now take the right foot and kick it away from you, which is going to peel your chest up a little higher. Push down through the left arm in order to do so as well, waking up the back. Very strong backward bends. And then gently release, placing the right forearm down. Going back to your Sphinx pose. If you're interested in a little bit deeper of a seal pose, take your hands out a little wider than where they are and lift your elbows up. Drop your shoulders down, push the floor away from you to get a little bit more into your back. Now release your glutes. Don't clench the glutes and let the spine find length from its base, really all the way out through the crown of the head. Beautiful. And come back down. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Child's pose. Push your hips back towards your heels. Take any version that you like. Always make sure your big toe mounds are touching, but the distance between your knees is your choice. Let your head and your chest come down towards the floor, giving your back a much needed stretch after that. You can swiggle and wiggle a bit, the hips so nicely open. As we worked our hamstrings, our hips, our core, our back, a little bit more hips, and now stretching out the backside body. Well done. Doing a little bit more leg and arm stuff in just a moment. Always know that you can come back into your child's pose whenever you need to. Extend your arms out in front of you, and let's come up into downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide, tuck your tailbone under, and lift your hips well up into the air. Pushing your chest down towards your legs, towards your thighs. Lifting up through your tailbone, let your side body get long. Now breathe. So we can actually hold this a bit. And whenever you have that opportunity in a yoga class where you can hold a pose, that it's easier to breathe in than do that. Take advantage of the breath. Let that be what this moment is all about. We've done down dog a million times. We'll do it a million more times. And it's just another excuse to find the breath. One more breath here. Well done. And then look forward and start to walk your hands up to your feet. So you're going to come up to the top of the mat in a standing forward fold. Bend your knees, let your belly rest on your thighs, and then drape the chest and the head down, let it go. If you're comfortable, you can grab your elbows. If you'd like to keep your hands on the floor, that's fine. If possible, sway a little bit left and right, giving yourself a little bit of a space into your shoulders and into your upper back. Well done. One more breath here. Release your elbows. Start to bend your knees. Place your hands on your lower thighs. Keep your knees bent. Lift your chest up halfway. So this is a supported chair pose. Right? You're putting weight onto your legs, but your knees are still bent. From here, we'll take some cats and cows. So inhale, lift your chest, right? Kind of stick your tail out a bit. And then exhale, breathing. Bring your chin to your chest, drop your tailbone down. That's a huge stretch. Keep the knees bent. Inhale, breathing. Lift your chest, keep your shoulders down. Good way to get into your legs here. Exhale, breathing. Pull the belly in, bring the chin to the chest. One more time. Inhale, breathing here. Nice. And then exhale, breathing into your cat pose. Still keep your knees bent. This time, reach your arms out in front of you for a modified chair position. Maybe sink down a little bit deeper. Stay down there with the legs. Take the hands behind you. Interlace your fingers. Clasp your hands, your wrists, or anything. Pull your knuckles back. And now start to straighten your legs. Take another forward fold. Pull the knuckles up towards the ceiling. Letting the head drop, but reaching the arms away from the head and the neck. Up towards the ceiling above, creating a whole lot of space now into your pectorals and into your upper chest, your deltoids and such. Let yourself hang here for a moment. Give yourself permission to find your full expression of your pose here. Good. One more breath. And then very gently release your grip and bring yourself up to a stand. Just nice and slow. Come on up to your mountain pose. Let your arms come down by the sides of your body. Close your eyes just for a few moments. Right? So the body a whole lot more awake, a whole lot more alive, with full of prana, as we say, energy and breath. We get to do a little bit of standing work here. Let's open our eyes. Bring your arms up over your head. Grab your left wrist with your right hand and take a side bend to the right. Push your left heel down into the floor. Bump your hips out to the left just a bit. Avoid collapsing in your knees. So I do want you to keep strong, solid legs when you take a side bend. Come up and go to the other side. Grab your right wrist with your left hand and then pull up and over to your left, allowing the right side body to open up. Firm up your legs. Let your hips go out to the right a little bit, deepening the stretch. Well done. Come back up to the center. Stretch your both arms up into the air. Inhale. And now exhale, take a forward fold. Please bend your knees as much as you need to get connection with your hands on the floor. Take your right leg and step it to the back of the mat. Come into a runner's lunge here. Keep your right fingertips on the floor. Pick up your left arm. Open yourself up into a twist. Taking your left arm up into the air. Well done. Bring your left hand down. Place your right knee down on the floor. Low crescent lunge. Inhale, breathing. Lift up. Lean back a little bit. So we warmed up our spine so nicely for this. So keep your chest up, but pull your arms back a little bit so you start to get a little bit more into your upper back. Well done. You can even tilt your chin up towards the ceiling. Now push your hips down and forward just a little tiny bit, and a little bit more into the hips, squeezing your inner thighs towards each other. Well done. Place your hands back down on the floor. Pick up your right knee and step yourself back to downward facing dog. Inhale, breathing, come forward into a plank pose. Exhale, lower down. You can put your knees down on the floor if you'd like. Release the tops of your feet. Cobra pose. Inhale, breathing. Lift your chest up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Keep the back of your neck long. Make your legs a little longer and lift your chest up a little higher. And then lower back down. Good. Bring yourself back to the dog. Tuck the toes. Lift yourself up. Downward facing dog. And from your downward facing dog, take your feet, start walking them to your hands. Again, bending your knees as much as you'd like. Good way to get into your back. So you're at a standing forward fold at the front of your mat. Now step your left leg back. Runner's lunge. Right knee bent, left leg extended, light on the fingertips. Pick up your right arm, open up, and twist. Keep your right knee pointing forward. Beautiful. Pull your right hip back a little bit. And then bring your right hand down. Place your left knee down. Low lunge here. Inhale. And lift up. Sweep up through the side body. Reach up through your fingertips. Good. Hips down and forward. You can get some good space into this position. Reaching up through the back of the heart, up the left thigh. Start to open up. Take one more breath here. Well done. And then release your hands down. Step your left foot to the front of the mat. Keep your knees bent a little bit. Place your hands on your outer hips and slowly bring yourself up to a stand. Very nice. Inhale, breathing, arms over your head. Good. Lift your heels up, stand on your tiptoes. Good. Start to, and a little bit of balance, right? A little bit of core stability, a whole lot of strength happening in your calves here as you reach up and just all this length into your body. Stretch up. Nice. Land your heels down and bring your hands to your heart center. And keeping your hands at your heart center, step your left leg all the way to the back of your mat and then turn your toes towards the left. So you're in this wide-legged standing position. Take a breath and inhale. Reach your arms out. Open up your chest. Exhale, we'll take a forward fold. Prasarita A. Place your hands down on the floor. If need to, bend your knees. And then let your head and your chest drop down completely. Good. Taking this first version in this wide-legged forward fold, right? You can really take your hands anywhere that suits you along your yoga mat. I do want you to feel your legs though supporting you. So this is still very much a leg posture, even though you're hanging out, so to speak. To create the stretch on the back part of the body, you need the solidity and the strength of your legs to make it happen in the body. So squeeze your quadriceps and lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling, eking out a little bit more length into your spine. Place your hands back on the floor under your shoulders. Push into the floor and inhale, breathing Ardha, Prasarita, Padottanasana. Lift your chest up. Exhale, breathing with ease, lower down. Good. Again, inhale through the nose. Push into the floor. Lift the chest, reach it forward. Exhale, breathing, and bring it down. Nice. One more time. Inhale, breathing. Lift it up. And exhale, breathing. Bring it down. Very nice. Inhale. come back up halfway. Good. Exhale, place your hands on your outer hips. And then inhale, breathing, bring yourself up to a stand. Nice. So keeping our wide-legged stance, we're going to take warrior two to the left. So turn your left toes towards the back of your mat. Slide your right heel out a bit. Bend your left knee and settle down into your Virabhadrasana 2, your classic warrior lunge pose. Hold your chest up as you do so. Keep the weight on the outsides of your both feet and draw your navel in just a little tiny bit. As you warm up into the pose, maybe you find a little bit more lunginess in it or a little bit more space between your feet. Keep your left knee over your left ankle. Pull your right shoulder back a little tiny bit and let the legs start to cook a little bit. Start to cook. Let your hips kind of find this strength building aspect and this stretch at the same time. Such a benefit of a yoga practice. Well done. Now, in inhale, straighten your left leg and lean back. This is called reverse triangle, right? So take your left arm all the way up, lean your torso back. Exhale, breathing, come back to warrior two. And we'll take a few more of those. Inhale, breathing, lift up and lean back. And exhale, breathing, warrior two. Nice. One more time, inhale, breathing, lean back. This time the exhale will be triangle pose. So keep your front leg straight and now lean forward with your left arm. Bring your left hand down towards your left shin. Take your right arm up into the air. So your arms are essentially stacked in one line. Left fingertips reaching down wherever it's going to be comfortable in your leg. And the right fingertips reaching right up towards midnight. Keep your chin close to your chest. And then either turn your head up or just keep your head facing forward or even down for that matter. Pull your left thigh bone in and up to get your left hip more underneath you, and then you'll find more space in which you can reach up through your right arm. Good. Inhale, lift your torso back up, and now come back to warrior two, bend into your left leg. Good. Extended side angle, lightly rest your left forearm on your left thigh and take your right arm up over your head. Turn your chest open. You don't want to be facing the floor in this position. Push your hips forward. Good. And lean your upper body back, giving yourself more space. Press into your right foot. And then reach through your right fingertips. Very strong hip stretch. Good. Come back up to warrior two. And straighten out your left leg. Bring your hands to your hips. And now again, come back to your stance. Turn your left toes in just a bit. Good. We'll take another forward fold here. Take your arms out nice and wide. And come on down. Place your hands down on the floor. Good. You might find a little bit more space, certainly in the left hip. Maybe even in the right, depending. And now drop down. Grab your calves or your ankles, maybe your heels, and use a little arm strength to start to pull your chest closer towards your legs. Lift your tailbone up into the air. Tailbone lifts up as the head and the chest goes in the opposite direction. Keep your quadricep muscles lifted, quite strong. Roll the weight a little bit forward towards the balls of the feet. So stay out of your heels and then pull your chest closer down towards the legs and towards the floor. Now bring your hands back under your shoulders, push into the floor. This time float your arms out to the sides like airplane wings. Great way to strengthen your back. And now stand back up. Good. Turn your right toes towards the front of your mat. Slide your left heel back a bit. Then warrior two, bend your right leg. Other side here, opening up into your Virabhadrasana 2 and triangle series here. Nice. Keeping your shoulders over your hips, maybe finding a little bit more space to drop down into the position. Pull your left arm back a bit. Keep the feet pressed flat into the mat and find a deep bend into your front leg. without the thigh or the knee collapsing in towards the center. Nice. Here we go. Inhale, straighten the leg, lean back, reverse triangle. Nice. And then exhale, float back, warrior two. Good. Inhale, breathing, reverse triangle, up and back. Exhale, breathing, and warrior two. Good. And again, inhale, reverse triangle, this time coming into triangle. So now you come forward. Deepen the crease of the right hip. Put the right hand down and bring the left arm up into the air. Good. Open up. These look good. Everybody's cams look good. Nice, Christine. Keeping your chest open. Be nice to your neck. So you don't have to arch your neck or your head or do anything funny with that. Right? You can keep that somewhat soft. Make sure you can take a full round of breathing in this. Even though there's so much happening in the body, you want to be able to bring the energy into the position, into the pose, into the exercise. And the breath, the stillness of mind is how we do that, is how we put that all together. Nice. Inhale, breathing. Bring yourself back up. Come back to warrior two. Drop back down into your right leg. Good. And then extended side angle. Taking your right forearm onto your right thigh. Reach through your left fingertips and get long. Push through your left foot. Leaning your tailbone down and getting long onto the left side. A wonderful stretch for the left side of the body and great hip work into the right hip for sure. Open up your chest. One more breath here. Beautiful. Come back up to warrior two. Pose. Good. And then straighten out your leg. Again, turn your right toes over towards the left. Our last forward fold. Open up your chest. Look up towards the ceiling. Pull your arms back a little bit. Come from a place of extension and then come down. Put your hands down on the floor. This time we'll take all 10 of our fingers. We're going to turn them the other way so your pinkies are close or not touching. And then walk your hands as far back in between your legs as they'll drop the head and the chest. Take the weight forward towards your toes. Let your head hang. Nice. And if possible, start to bend your elbows and isometrically pull the floor towards you. You get your deepest expression of this stretch into your inner thighs and in your hips. One more breath here. Nice. And then place your hands back underneath your shoulders. Push into the floor. Look forward. Reach your arms out to the sides and stand up. Place your hands on your hips and step up to the front of the mat. Inhale, breathing, arms up overhead. Reach up. Exhale, breathing, and take a forward fold. Come down. Good. Inhale, breathing, step your right leg to the back of the mat. Drop your right heel down. This is warrior one, your forward-facing warrior. Our last lunge. Reach all the way up with your arms and your chest drop down into your hips. Good. Put weight into your front heel and the outer part of your back foot. Straighten your right leg as much as you can. Use your arms as kind of like energy rods to extend the spine and your side body nice and long. Good. One more breath here. Tremendous posture for our backs and for our spines. And then place your hands on your hips and step your right foot up to the front of the mat. So you're going to step right out of it. Staying on the left leg, we'll do tree pose. So we'll stand on our left leg, take the sole of the right foot to the inside of the leg. So as an example, I have my foot a little low on the leg, that's fine. Keeping your hips well underneath you. When ready, take your arms and lift them up into the air. So we'll take two hand mudras here. This first one will be Steeple Mudra. Interlace your fingers, release your index and cross your thumbs, and then stretch your arms up over your head. So wonderful, wonderful opening into your shoulders and Great lengthening into your upper spine as you build strength into your left leg and you overall work balance in your body. Good. Take one more breath here. Keep your arms over your head and place your right foot down on the floor. Now take a side bend over to the right. So a deeper side bend given the position of our hands. Working your wrists and your fingers away from your shoulders so your arms get longer so you're spining it. And then come up, go to the other side. Tilt over to the left. Good. Keep the chin up, push the right heel down. Nice. Come back up and take a forward fold. Come back down. Inhale, other side, left leg. Steps to the back of the mat. Warrior one pose. Inhale, reach up. Your feet can be a little wide. They don't have to be in like one line. So your left foot can be a little over to the left. Your right foot can be a little over to the right, given the position and the ability of your hips to support this posture. I want you to find freedom in your back. So lifting up, that might mean your arms have to go a little wide. Let your side body get long. Pull your belly in. Let your hips drop down. Good. Reach up through your fingertips. Take one more breath. Nice. Warrior one's a wonderful, wonderful pose. Good. And then place your hands on your hips and straighten your right leg and step your left foot up to the front of the mat. Alrighty, tree pose on the other side. So standing on our right leg, take the sole of your left foot into the inner right leg, wherever that might work. Either above or below the knee, and take the arms up over your head. This time you're going to interlace your fingers and flip your palms to face up. One of our deepest shoulder openers, wrists and forearm openers here as we balance on our right leg. Working to create that much more length into the spine, into our bodies, reversing the effects of gravity on our body, at least for now, on a daily basis with our practice. One more breath here. Keep the hands up there, the arms up there, place the left foot down. Last side bend, again, over to the right. You don't have to tilt that far to go far with this one. This is more of a shoulder opener than a side bend. And come on up, go to the other side and push. Take your time. Press your hands away from you. Create more space between your knuckles and the crown of your head. Good. And then come back up and bring your hands to your heart center. Namaste Hiti. And your arms and your shoulders rest a little tiny bit. Inhale, breathing, arms overhead. And we're going down. Exhale, forward fold, come down. And drop the head, drop the chest. Inhale, glance a little forward and step your both feet to the back of the mat. Put your knees down on the floor. Good. So coming into one more backward bend here. We did a lot of forward folding while we were standing. Walk yourself towards the back of your mat. Okay. Keeping your hips over your knees, just take your arms out in front. This is called a puppy pose, just like this. Okay, so it's pretty much a downward facing dog with your knees on the floor. If you have a little bit more space, you can actually let the upper chest and the head or face come down towards the floor. Keep your shoulders wide. They're going to want to collapse in. So press into the pinkies of your hands, dropping the outer right shoulders down just a bit and letting the spine get some length. 2 more breaths here. This is so good for your posture. It really goes right to the parts of the body that we tend to lose our good form in the most, the upper chest and the shoulders. 1 more breath. And then gently slide your hands back next to your face and push yourself up to your hands and your knees. Take a few cats and cows here just to get the spine. Again, moving a little tiny bit. It's good to hold things, but then it's also good to bring movement into the body. Reaching the back and dropping the belly, lifting the chest, commonly called cat and cow postures. Well done. Nice. And then release that to a neutral spine, and we'll come to a seat with our legs out in front of us. And take your legs out in front. Nice. So last little outer hip and thigh stretch here. We'll take 2 forward folds, but with our legs crossed. So sitting in Dandasana pose, which is like a capital letter L, kind of on the side. Take your right leg and cross it over your left. Right? Keeping your legs, about as extended as you can. There might be a little bit of a bend to your top knee. Bring your arms up over your head and take a forward fold. And drop down. This gets into your back a little differently. It gets into your hips a little differently. You bend your knees a little bit more. You might find your head and your chest coming closer to your legs. Not that those are destinations that have to be met, but it might enhance the experience for you or teach you that these things are accessible in your body. Sometimes we have these preconceived notions about what we can do and what we can't do, which is good. It keeps us safe, but then sometimes we need to test the waters a little bit. A little mindfully finding a little bit of space into your body, which is why we move a little slower in our yoga practice, less prone to injuries that way. And then slowly lift yourself up. Okay. So with the right leg still on top of the left, I want you to bend the right leg until the sole of the foot is on the floor, right outside your left knee. Wrap your left arm in front of your right knee and place your right hand on the floor behind you. This is a twist. Push your right hand and your left leg into the ground. Sit up tall and turn your spine and twist. Turn the spine and twist, taking your eye gaze over your right shoulder just a little tiny bit. And bringing your left rib cage towards your right knee. So you can get a little bit more happening into the upper spine. Good. Slowly release the pose. Take your right leg, bring the leg on the inside of your left leg with the knee bent. So reverse gait pose here. You can watch if you're not sure. Place your right hand on the floor outside your right hip and lift your hips up. Push your hips forward and lean your chest back. Lean your left arm back and open up into the back bend and the side bend. It's a beautiful pose. It feels good. Nice way to bring the practice a little bit towards close. And then sit back down. Yeah. Let's do those 3 poses on the other side. So we started in Dandasana pose. Take your left leg, cross it over your right. Bend your knees a little bit if need be. Sweep your arms up overhead on a big inhale and forward fold. Come down, drop the head on the chest. The back side of the body starts to open up. Breathe. In and out through your nose. And a little bit more into the left hip and into the left IT band. One more breath. And lift up. All right. Now the twist. Take the left leg, bend it, left foot, flat on the floor, outside your right leg. Wrap your right arm in front of your left knee. Place your left hand on the floor behind you. Push down and lift up and twist. And the more you can sit up, actually the better it feels. Good posture just feels better. We breathe better. Our energy is better, our mood is better. Flex through your right foot a bit. Turn your ribcage back a little bit. Nice. And then undo this. So for the reverse gait, now take your left leg on the inner part of your right leg, letting the knee fall out to the side and lift up. Take your hips, lift them up. Push your hips forward. Good. Reach your right arm back, getting into backward bending. A little tiny bit here. So nice. And then release and come down. Good. Come onto your backs. Little happy baby pose. Happy baby pose. Legs are in the air, but the knees are bent. All right, the knees are a little wide. Most of us, or all of us, can really hold behind our knees, pulling our knees in a bit. You want to keep your back as flat as possible. Some of us can climb up the leg a little tiny bit, but you don't want to risk lifting your chest or your tail up off the floor. And then let yourself actually sink into the floor. That will actually put some weight into your arms and then into the hips a bit. So the baby is quite the hip stretch. Right? Tail is long, nice and long, back is flat. One more breath. Well done. And then release. So we'll extend our legs. We'll take a Shavasana together here just for a few moments. So get yourself about as comfortable as it's going to happen. Your backs, letting your arms and your legs come a bit comfortably wide. Toes can flop out. Fingers will naturally curl. Take a few breaths. And then just settle. Let the body settle, not having to think about anything or process any physical direction or directive in the body. We'll take a couple of moments here in silence. Your next breath a little deeper than your last breath. And roll your head a little bit to the left and to the right, wiggle fingers and toes a bit. Your arms over your head, and like we did at the beginning of class, give yourself one more long full body stretch. And then bring your knees into your chest and give yourself a little hug. And from here, roll yourself up and take your yoga seat, however it is you like to express yourself in a seated pose, cross-legged or even propped up on something. Not a bad idea to, get a yoga block. Have one or two really at home. Not a bad thing to have for practices like this. Close your eyes just for a moment as we take our collective energy here and our practice to a close. On the start of our day, join your hands together in front of your heart for balance within, for a sense of wholeness and one. And a big thanks from me to you. A beautiful day, everybody. Maybe I'll see you Friday or next week or next time. And until then, namaste.